Hey, Coach Hapa back from the DJCoach.com, and I'm really excited for you to get a chance to learn where you can get more music to be able to use with your Hercules DJ Control Impulse 200 MK2 controller using the Juice software. So let's jump in. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to head on over to the actual Hercules website where there are a ton of free tracks. We're on Hercules.com. I'm going to go ahead and click on official music. That's going to open up. And this is a great resource for free, royalty free music that you can download. So we've got stuff from the Hercules collection. We've also have stuff from the Hercules DJ Ready tracks, and then also some samples as well. If I go ahead and go to the DJ Ready tracks, I'm just going to go ahead and download this French house track. Now, these packs have songs that are already uh, ID3 tags on them, meaning that they have the BPM, the key, the genre. They also have some hot cues already set on them as well. So once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and unzip this. And if you're on a Windows or a PC, it's going to be slightly different for each one. But I'm going to go ahead and unzip this right now. We'll get that going. And once I do, I can open up the folder and see all of the files. All right, so we're going to open up Juiced. I'm going to go over and click on playlists. I'm going to add a playlist, but I don't need to do this quite yet. I can kind of skip a couple of steps. So I'm going to open up the folder that I have the tracks in. I'm going to select all of these. So I'm going to hold shift and click, which will select all of them. I'm then going to drag these 15 tracks onto where the playlist area is. And now what's going to happen is it's going to prompt me to create a playlist. So I'm going to call this French House Playlist. And there it is. And when I click on the French House playlist, everything is there now. So all my 15 tracks are there. Now I can take the track, drag it into the actual deck, and there we go. We can see my hot cues are already in there. Everything is good to go. Now, you might already have some MP3s that you've been downloading over the years and you're able to throw into Juice the same way as I brought in those same tracks. So you can do the same thing with your MP3s that are already on your computer. Some of you, though, want different music. Like you might want access to your tracks that you've been listening to on Spotify or on Apple Music or one of these streaming services. So let me show you where you can get some music. I'm going to go to the top left-hand corner and switch our view. I'm going to go to browser just to give us some more space. You'll notice in this library area, we've got different streaming services that are here, including Beatport, BeatSource, Qobuz, SoundCloud, and TIDAL. You'll notice that you don't see Spotify there. Apple Music is here, but it is slightly different. It's not the streaming Apple Music. It is songs that are within your iTunes library that you'd be bringing over. So let's say I were to go to TIDAL, which is one of my favorites. TIDAL, I believe, has most of what I would typically find in Spotify. Now, all of these services are going to be at an additional cost. So if I go here to this home area, it's going to ask me to then log in to TIDAL. So I'm going to go ahead and log into my TIDAL account. And you'll see that when I do, it's going to prompt me to go back to Juiced. Go back to Juiced. So now I'm back in TIDAL, and you'll see that I can access a bunch of different things that are inside of TIDAL, including their new playlists. It's Tupac Essentials that's here. Now, these are not playlists that I myself have curated. If I want to find my stuff, I go down to My Collection, and then I click on all of my stuff. So my playlists are here. In fact, all of this is my playlist, and I can sort of find the titles that I want. It's my friend Sherwayne Winchester from Trinidad. I can load that, and you'll see as it loads, switch back over to my horizontal decks, everything is there. Everything is there. And I can go out and hotkey it. I can set loops. I can do all of that. And it's already detected the BPM and the key. And now this allows for me to be able to use any songs that I find within TIDAL or SoundCloud or Beatport or BeatSource. So this is great. And again, just as a reminder, this is at an additional cost. So you do need to then subscribe to one of these services to be able to access that. That is not a Juice thing. That is outside of Juiced. But I highly recommend it because this is a really great way to get more music into your library. For those of you, though, that are wanting to go out and start to DJ with your controller, what I would suggest is you getting the actual MP3 versions of songs and not just streaming them. That way you're not reliant on the Wi-Fi, because that is another sort of negative here is that while we have access to millions of songs, we also need to be connected to the Wi-Fi and have actually a pretty decent connection to Wi-Fi as well. And so if you wanted to build up your library, I still suggest the use of record pools. So finding a digital record pool where you can get access to songs that DJs are using at a high quality file rate. This is what I would recommend as well. There are some great ones out there, including BPM Supreme, DJ City, Headliner Music Club, Direct Music Service, and we've put a couple of logos here beneath. But feel free to do a DJ record pool search as well and try to find a pool that you feel like might fit what you're looking for. One last thing I want to show you, if we go on to settings and we go to connect, you'll see that I have that TIDAL already connected, but I can connect any of these other services as well. And then this is where you could manage your services. So this will give you an idea of what the streaming services are. You'll also notice that there are share services as well, which this was all about getting music. But if you wanted to share your mixes that you create, you can also connect your Mixcloud account directly with Juiced and then be able to share your mix straight to Mixcloud through the actual software itself, which is a really cool feature. Now, one more thing that I'd like to do is you can see all these different streaming services, but what if you're not using any of these? These are sort of taking up space on the side of your library here. So if we go to settings, I'm going to show you how we can hide some of those. If we go down to browser and we say we can select which we show and what we don't. So I'm going to take off Apple Music. I'm going to take off Qobuz. I'm going to take off SoundCloud. I'll hide some of these. Okay. And now it's simplified that on the left side. So there's so many different ways to get music into your Juice software. There is number one, streaming. I would recommend finding the streaming platform that you think suits you the best. In my opinion, I love TIDAL. No issues with it whatsoever. I also subscribe to Beatport streaming and BeatSource streaming as well. So you might have multiple platforms. Initially, though, start with one is what I would recommend. And then number two, you might use some of the MP3s that you already have. I highly encourage you, though, to enroll and apply for access to a DJ record pool. It can really give you a ton of music, a ton of files that you can download and have as actual MP3s. This will then allow you to not be so dependent on the Wi-Fi should you say yes to that gig. It'll also allow you to be able to own that music even after you stop subscribing to that record pool. So it's a really great resource. And then of course, you can bring all of this music into Juice to be able to use it, make sure that you hotkey it, make sure that you understand how to get in and out of the songs, and then have a ton of fun playing. I'll see you on the next one.